Okay, welcome back. We are going to be working with variables now. But before we do that, we need to bring a key into this room and we need to hide the key behind something. So, what I thought might be kind of fun is just click on Upload and click on Web Search, and you can see I've already looked up key. So, there's like a lot of different keys you can choose from. So, I'm just going to choose this key, I guess. I'm going to put the key over here and I'm going to move it up on the wall, and I'll explain why I'm going to do that in a second. And of course I'm going to right click the key, or two finger click the key, click on name, and I'm just going to call it key. We don't need a long name like that, and I'm just going to make sure we can use it in our code. Secondly, I want to hide the key. So I'm going to put something in front of the key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on upload again, and I'm going to go back, and you can see I've actually uploaded one of my daughter's pictures. All I did was I clicked on upload and I uploaded it from my desktop. It's just right there, you can see it. Um, so I'm just going to drag that out. I'm just going to close that, and I'm going to click on spacebar on my keyboard and zoom myself in a little bit more. Then I'm going to click rotation mode, and I'm going to grab this blue one right here. I'm going to rotate her picture around, and I'm just going to kind of push this back a little bit to bring it out. I'm going to move it up so it kind of covers the key a little bit, and I think I am going to click rotation again. You can see this little blue bar up here. You can actually click R on your keyboard to do that as well. And I'm going to make the picture way bigger so it can kind of, it really sits in front of the key. There we go. So it kind of looks like a picture on the wall. So I click here and I'm in the room. You can see there's the picture she did right there. You can put a frame around it. You can do all kinds of stuff, but let's just keep it simple. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into, oh, I actually forgot. Always make sure, and I'm going to call this, her name is Cat, and I'm going to make sure you can use that in Blockly. Okay, so let's click on code. Now you can see here's our movement code for our character, the guy we see at the start. I'm going to click the plus button here, and I'm going to click on CoBlocks. And you can see right here I've created a brand new sort of script area. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click on data. It's way down on the bottom here. I'm going to click on that, and you can see we have values, and that's not the one we're going to use, so I'm going to scroll down just a little bit more. And I'm going to get to variables. This is what we want to work with. And variables are like buckets. You can put any value inside this bucket. So we can name the variable whatever we want. And for this session tutorial, we're going to be just using true or false for our variable. So I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to set variable, and we're going to call the variable locked. I'm just going to call it locked. We're going to set locked to true. So let me just go up here, and you can see under the data, area right there, there's false right there. So I pull it out, and you're going to make sure see how it turns white? You got to make sure it turns white, and you release like that. Then I'm going to click on this little tiny down arrow. I'm going to make it true. So set variable locked to true. That means true is now this variable locked is true right here. It is become true. The value is true. So what we're going to do now is we are going to click on events, and we're going to do when something is clicked. So we're going to use when the key, that's what we want. When the key is clicked, let's go down to data again and go down to our variable again right here. We're going to set the variable locked, and we want locked, so just hit L for locked and it will show you locked. We set locked to false, and then just scroll back up here, and there's false right there. Okay, now there's an easier way to do this. You don't have to pull it all out on the side. You can right click this and you can duplicate it, but you know, two different ways to do things. So when the key is clicked, the variable locked changes to false. It changes the variable right there when I click that key on the wall. Now, here's the other thing. We want that door only to open if the variable locked is false. If it's true, we do not want that door to open. And in fact, if we click on it, we want the door to say, you need to find the key somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to events, and we're going to do when the door is clicked. And we're going to be using something else here now. Now we're going to click on Control, and you can see there's loops here, and I'm going to click on loops because that will actually compact the submenu. And you can see here's ifs. These are really powerful statements here. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to drag this in. So we're going to go if right here, if locked equals false, right? So if locked equals false. So let's click on data. Let's go down and find our variable again. You see here's our variable tab. So if locked, now here you also got to make sure you don't put it like in the wrong place. You got to make sure highlight it white. If locked equals false, and let's go up to false, and I'm just sort of scrolling up here. You can see here's false right there. So if locked equals false, we want the door to pop open. So if you remember, to make the door open, we just click on Actions up on the top here, this purple one. We're going to scroll down just a little bit on the side, and we set the animation of the door to open. Now, if the opposite of false is obviously true, so else right here, we want the door to say something. So we're going to actually pop in what's called an info panel, and this is the info panel right here. So let's click that info panel, and it's quite big, but it's not that intimidating. So title is, let's call it door. And let's say the door says, you need to find the key. Okay, so, all right, now we got one other problem. The picture is actually covering the key. So let's add another thing in here. Let's actually put it up higher. So let's click on events. And so when the picture, cat, the name of the picture was cat. When cat is clicked, we want the picture to kind of slide sideways. So let's click on transform. I don't know, there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. Let's just, I don't know, let's move the picture of cat 1 meter forward. I don't know, let's try to the right. It could be a bit tricky sometimes. So let's say 2 meters to the right. Okay, let's see if this actually is going to work. So let's just try this out. So let's click on the guy. Okay, he's talking. He heads out. Door closes. Okay, so let's try and click on the door. Okay, door, you need to find the key. Okay, got it. So I'm just going to kind of look over here. Obviously, there's only one place to click on. So, whoa, okay, that's a bit weird. It slides into the floor. Now I'm gonna click this again. See, I cannot open that door. Now I click the key and I try and open the door again. It actually opens. Pretty cool because the variable has been set to false. Now they can't really tell that we've clicked on the key. It doesn't do anything. So let's go back in here and let's make it so if we click the key, let's actually shrink the key and make it really small. So let's click on transform. Let's go down to scale, and let's scale the key by decimal 0.001 in 1 second. That'll make it kind of shrink. Okay, so this is a lot to take in, but let's just go over this one more time. So when I click play, play is that button. The variable locked is set to true. And let's just skip the picture for a second. So when I click the key, the variable locked is set to false. It changes the variable. And if you scroll down even more, when I click the door, if the locked equals false, which it does of course because I clicked the key, then it opens. But if, the else, which would be if it's true, and true of course is how we set it at the start, we get this info panel. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, and variables are super powerful and really important that you understand them, and also this if-else command is a really powerful statement as well. So hopefully we've gotten you a little bit farther along, and let's move into the next tutorials.